project looks at improving labour market outcomes for young unemployed people in Johannesburg in South Africa. It's run by the Mind and Behaviour Group in the Centre for Study of African Economies at the University of Oxford. The study starts from a huge challenge facing many low-income countries, but also middle and high-income countries. Many young people suffer from high rates of unemployment. When they do get into work, their work is often short-term, insecure, low-paid, or of pretty low quality. We want to understand how we can make labour markets work better for these young people. In particular, we're studying a problem known as information frictions. Information friction in economics is when two different parties are trying to have some sort of transaction and they don't have as much information about the other party as they would like. And the fact that they have limited information prevents transactions from occurring. So what we're studying here is limited information, particularly about these young work seekers' skills available in the labour market, and that this can distort the decisions both of young work seekers and the decisions firms are making when they're thinking about whether to hire these work seekers. We conduct a series of experiments to study how the revelation of information about work seekers' skills changes both their behaviour and the behaviour of firms. We work with an NGO called the Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator. We develop an intervention with Harambee where they conduct a range of psychometric tests assessing young work seekers' skills, and then we randomly allocate some days of work seekers to get a report where they receive information about their skills. The second thing we did was just to look at firms. So we took the same work seekers in the experiment and we sent them a text message to say, here is a job opportunity that you could apply for, and they sent applications on to us. We divide the applications into two groups. One set of applications just get forwarded on exactly as the work seeker submitted them. The other set of applications, we attach these same report cards, and then we forwarded those applications on to firms. We then did a third experiment, but this both gives work seekers improved information about their skills and it enables them to share that information with firms. Allowing the full set of changes in work seekers' behaviour and potentially also the combined changes in firms' behaviour, that has the biggest effects. We see an increase in their employment rates after 3 to 4 months. Employment goes from 31 to 36%. We see an increase in hours worked of 15% and of earnings of 32% in this labour market. So in fact, the sort of policy relevant intervention, giving some sort of certificate to work seekers, which you could do, schools could do it, labour market centres could do it. There's a range of different ways you could implement this in the labour market. That has the biggest effects.